Cade, being the great priest he is, goes to the strip club and sees her there. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maddie and we are going to be talking about smut. We all love smut. You might have heard of some of the ones that I'm going to talk about, but I do quarterly updates on all of the smutty books that I read. I am on book 73 of this year, and my goal is to get to 100. I think that's pretty doable, but majority of my books that I read are smutty. The last video that I did was in April. It is this video right here. It was just the first quarter of the year smutty update. I will say, April to August has been pretty slow on the smut scale. Like I tried to pick out 5 really good books, but I actually haven't had a 5-star read since June. And it's the end of August, but we're gonna get into it anyway. We are gonna start with, actually, you know what we're gonna start with is April started out reading Haunting Adeline. But you guys, I am not recommending you this book. No way would I recommend anyone this book. I gave in to the hype. I was like, so many people talk so highly about this book. It was like watching cheesy porn. It was not good. If you think this book is good, I have some other dark romance books that are a little less popular that you'd probably like even more. I own the first copy. There's no way I'm reading the second book. Sorry if you do like this book. We all have our own taste, but I gave in to the hype and I did not see the hype. Okay, besides having a rocky start with Haunting Adeline in April, I read The Right Move in May, and this book, it's been in a few videos, and I'm pretty sure I did a reading vlog on it. I don't know how to like hype this book up anymore. If you like smut but you want a little bit more depth in your characters, absolutely. He's also a basketball player. My favorite part about this book actually is, I wouldn't say it was a slow burn, because the tension, the sexual tension starts on page 1. Like, you are sucked into this relationship because our main character in Mile High, her best friend, Indy is looking for somewhere to stay. She had some big breakup with her boyfriend of like 7+ years and needs somewhere else to stay for the time being. Ryan, they end up becoming roommates. So it's a little bit of forced proximity, but Indy comes in like a tornado. She is just all over the place, really colorful, lots of romance books, takes up a lot of his space, and he's not used to it, but he loves it. The tension leading up to it is just like, you can tell that Ryan really likes her, kind of just can't like fathom having someone else in his space, but he feels bad and like lets her room there. There's a lot of tension going on, a lot of spicy tension. So when it does break, when that tension snaps, it reads so well. If you like Lauren Asher or Mariana Zapata, Hannah Grace, or Elle Kennedy, it's that same energy. But I will say Liz Tom Ford goes so in depth with her character's mental state and her character's personalities, and you get to know these characters so well. Oh, Elsie Silver. If you like Elsie Silver, that's a good comparison, I feel like. Very similar character dynamics with that depth involved. The next book I read on Kindle, it is Heartless by Elsie Silver. Speaking of the devil. So just so you guys know, I read this book at the end of June, and it is 2 months later and I have not had another 5-star. So Cade and Willa. Cade is a single dad, so he kind of has these trust issues. He doesn't like his ex, he has full custody of his son, and Willa comes in as the nanny. And Willa is the friend of the first book, Flawless, that main character in that one. I don't even remember the main character in that one, but Willa is just a different level of good. She kind of reminds me of Indy, actually, the character dynamic in The Right Move. Probably why I liked it so much, because Cade and Ryan are very grumpy, subtle. They're not very extroverted, they're pretty introverted. But then you have Indy and Willa who give the same. They're just like, they are not too much. They are just loud and extroverted and cute and fun. And so Willa becomes the nanny for this small little family, and Cade is so reluctant to like her. Just absolutely kind of an asshole, grouchy all the time. Kind of reminds me of Luke from Gilmore Girls. That's who I envisioned when I read this book. He's just so grouchy, he's not very grateful, but over time he's like, how can you not like this chick? And there's one specific scene in a hot tub. Something happened and it was just again with the tension. You know what? Forget smut. We just need books with full tension. We just need all the tension we can get, because the second that tension is over and like they admit that they want to just like bang it out, that's when it gets really good. This book was really hard to put down too. Like, I don't know what Elsie Silver puts in between these pages. It's some kind of crack in there. Like, you cannot stop reading these country boys, and I'm not even a cowgirl, cowboy romance kind of girl, but I wanted a pair of boots and a hat after this, that's for sure. The next book, I have to get it. Where is it? Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I gave this book, surprisingly, I gave this book 3.5 stars. You know, I could see myself actually giving this 4 stars. Like, I don't know why I gave it 3.5. The Love Hypothesis, Love on the Brain, and Love Theoretically. Love Theoretically gets second place, in my opinion. I think The Love Hypothesis, nothing will beat that one. Maybe because it was the first one I read from her. I don't know. But Ali Hazelwood knows how to do spice. She knows how to write it. She's very, very good at it. I do think, I've mentioned this in one of my last smut recommendation videos, she doesn't know how to write about average wee-wees. Like, they're all hogs. Like, I don't know. She just doesn't know what average means, but that's okay. This is about Elsie and Jack. Elsie is applying to a position at Jack's workplace, and they are scientists. I believe Elsie is a theorist. I'm probably saying that wrong. I am not a scientist, just so you know. Jack is an experimentalist. Okay, theoretical physicist, yes. Theoretical versus experimental. So Elsie is very theoretical. They go based off theories, where Jack is very experimental and like hard facts, right? And this creates some tension in the workplace she's applying to. They make it very clear from the beginning that they are enemies. Again, Ali Hazelwood has a very particular formula that she does for her books. This is very similar to her other ones, but she does spice so well. I loved the plot of this one, as well as the smut. The next smutty book that I read that I want to talk about is Until I Get You. Again, I've talked about this book many, many times. Oh, I talked about this in my last recommendation video also. I won't go too crazy on it. It's a very discreet cover, and you get a lot of sex and smut in here, and it's wonderful. There's a lot of good tension. There's a lot of good angst. A lot of the characters are mad at each other for a little bit, and there's just a lot of that heated tension that is really, really good. Layla and Lachlan, I believe, met in college. Then something happened at the beginning of the book. I don't want to tell you, obviously, and they were separated for about 3 years. Now, when Lachlan goes on the hunt to find her again, he's like gung-ho on finding her. By the way, this is a hockey romance, so if you like sport romances, this is a good one. This also has a little bit of dark trigger warnings in it. There's like a stalker involved and a little bit of violence, a little bit of gore, but not too much. Like, I keep comparing it, and this is like the 5th time I've done it. It really is like Icebreaker, just darker, just like with a little bit more violence. Layla is very unapproachable and unattainable in the first half of the book. She's not very well known in her school, and she doesn't want to be well known at all, and she just tries to stay in the corners and like stays in the background of the parties. She doesn't try to engage in anything. And then you have Lachlan, who is just like the Brad of the hockey team. Like, he's just really well known, and he obviously ends up gravitating towards her. And when they do end up separating, and then there's the 3-year gap that they don't see each other, the tension is high, and Lachlan is mad. He is upset, and he's frustrated, and he's just ready to like get her back. And that's when things really start to pick up, and you are kind of like wondering what is Lachlan's motive? What is the other issue going on in this book, and like what's going to happen? But in the sidelines and on the side, it is just like them. There's a lot of makeup sex, there's a lot of groveling, there's a lot of protectiveness and that possessiveness, if you kind of like that. I think that is what I really, really liked about it, is all of these side tropes in this book, not necessarily just the smut, but the smut was so well written and like not corny, not cheesy. You would never guess that it's sports romance from the cover. I really don't want to get that next book down. And you know, I had to talk about my girl Emily McIntyre. I think I am one of the few people who talks about Emily McIntyre on BookTube. Like, I really don't hear a lot of other people talking about her, except for like on TikTok. She does dark romance perfectly. And the fact that she wrote this book while in chemo and just So I give so much love and so much prop to Emily McIntyre and her writing, and I'm never bored with her books. And this series, this is the 5th book in the Never After series. I believe this one was based off Hunchback of Notre Dame. This is about Cade and Amaya. Cade is a priest, okay? Trope number 1. Amaya is actually a professional dancer. She dances at a club, so you could call her a stripper. She's loves to dance though, so she more does it for the enjoyment of dancing, but also caring for her brother. Her younger brother does have autism, and she is in charge of taking care of him. She has to dance, she's got to make her money, so she does. And Cade, being the great priest he is, goes to the strip club and sees her there. It's really messed up. Like, describing some of these books, that's not a great plot, but like, good for you, Emily McIntyre, good for you. Cade basically sees her in the strip club and is like, I need to fix her. And he's also a serial killer, like on the side, he just dabbles in it kind of. There's just a lot of temptation on the side of Cade and Amaya. Like, Amaya isn't that interested in him much at all, and she's just kind of like, okay, what do you want from me, kind of thing. Like, she's a little scared of him, like a little nervous to be around him, but is intrigued, but kind of just doesn't care. And then Cade is just infatuated by her, like stalking her occasionally and being a creepy priest. There's some other shady stuff going on in this little small town that you get wrapped up in, and I was shocked at the end. When I tell you that I was not expecting that plot twist, Emily McIntyre really just played me so hard. But then like the side smut, and there's a lot of self-pleasure masturbation scenes that I really liked, and a lot of the stalker kind of vibes you can get from Haunting Adeline. Right here, just as good. So good. And her covers. God, her covers are so pretty. That was the last book that I am going to be talking about in this video. I hope that you gained something new out of this video. Maybe you added a book to your TBR list. Thanks for being into horny books. I will be doing another quarterly update of Smutty books in December, so keep an eye out for that. If you do want to see what I'm currently reading and what I have read and what I plan to read, go follow my Goodreads, which is in the link down below. See you guys in the next video.